Hey guys, I'm Holly Tate, Vice President of Business Development here at Vanderbloemen, and today I am joined by Sydney Harris, who is one of our senior researchers here at Vanderbloemen, but she is also currently our Culture Queen, which is a very important title on our team that William Vanderbloemen coined a few years ago in his writing of Culture Wins, the Roadmap to an Irresistible Workplace. We are going to cover a lot in a very short amount of time. But we've been getting a ton of questions from you guys in all of our Vanderbloemen Network live series that we've been doing around team and HR during this bizarre time of COVID-19, where so many of us have had to transition from being in an office together every day to remote. And so one of the questions that we've been getting is, how can we build culture remotely? So I recruited Sydney to join me on this video interview. We're going to go over 9 activities that you can do with your team remotely. And almost all of them are free or have very little cost. Our team's tried a couple of them and it's been super fun. So Sydney, take it away. Well, actually, first, tell us a little bit about your role on the culture team at Vanderbloemen, and then we'll dive into our 9 activities.
Yeah, absolutely. So as the culture queen, I get to work with several members on our staff, and we get to collaborate on fun events that our company does, different things that we call culture surprises. So it's kind of just a way to keep team morale high, a way to have fun, but we also do all the birthdays and what we call Vanderversaries, which is someone's work anniversary. So we get to do a lot of celebrating and a lot of fun, but it's a great way to integrate all of our Vanderbloemen values into things that we do as a team. So it's been really fun. I've enjoyed it, but we've definitely had to pivot a little bit since we're not in the office every day, trying to figure out how to live out those values and how to engage and spend time together when we can't actually be together.
Absolutely. That's awesome. And our culture team is so important because, as William wrote about in Culture Wins, is you really have to have a team of people on your staff. Definitely one person, but a team is really helpful so it doesn't all fall on one person, to infuse your staff values through everything you do as a company. And a calendar of events throughout the year is a really important part of that. So we're so thankful to you and our entire culture team at Vanderbloemen for all of your hard work and creativity during this time. And that's why I wanted to interview you about this topic. So let's dive in. We've got 9 different activities that we're going to go over. So what is the first one?
So the first activity that we are going to talk about is one that our team actually tried out a couple weeks ago. So we all got on Zoom, had a big Brady Bunch Zoom meeting, and played Never Have I Ever. So my example was, never have I ever gone skiing. I've never been snow skiing before. So the people who had done that raised their hands and then told the story about their skiing adventures. And it was a really great opportunity to get to know each other a little bit better, get to know about each other's experiences that we may not have heard about. And it was really cool. I enjoyed it.
That's right. And the 2 rules were, you couldn't talk about work and you couldn't talk about COVID-19. That was a very important part.
Absolutely.
And it was so fun to learn. I mean, I've worked with some of our team, I've been at Vanderbloemen for 8 years. And so I learned that some people on our staff had never been skiing or never been skydiving or never been to a certain state. And it was a really, really fun activity. Okay, so that's Never Have I Ever. Number 2, what's our second activity, Sydney?
So number 2 is 2 Truths and a Lie. Very similar to Never Have I Ever, but it's a really fun, playful way, again, to spend time together, to laugh together, and to get to know facts about your coworkers that you may not have known before.
Absolutely. All right, 2 Truths and a Lie. Number 3.
3 is Quiplash. It's actually, I think Quiplash is a paid game, but it's so fun. Have you ever played before, Holly?
Yes, this is me and my husband's one of our favorite games. So
Awesome.
I can take this one if you want.
Go for it.
So, well, what I love about Jackbox.tv, this is actually a great example of pivoting, because Jackbox, like when Sydney, when you and I were kids, and a lot of people watching this were kids, you don't know Jack was actually a board game, and they pivoted. And so now they have, it doesn't matter what device you're on, whether it's PlayStation, your laptop, your phone, they have an app where you can play games, and one of them is Quiplash. And it's basically just a witty phrase
Mm-hmm.
game where you get a question like the most embarrassing Easter card ever, and then everybody puts in their answer on their own
Mm-hmm.
device, and then it shows up on the screen, and it's hilarious, and everybody votes for their favorite answer, and it's just a really fun time. It's only $5 for the Mac or PC app for Quiplash. So that is a really fun one.
It is a fun one. Me and my cousins actually used to play that on our family reunion, so I have lots of great memories with Quiplash.
Yes, and a cool thing, Sydney, is you can actually create custom questions. So I've heard of staffs. Yeah, so I've heard of staffs before where like you'll create inside jokes maybe your team has had from funny memories, or different custom questions that only your team would think are funny. So that's a really great team building activity that you can do. It's by Jackbox TV, and it's a game called Quiplash. All right, so that was number 3. All right, what about number 4, Sydney?
So number 4 is the idea of using the Zoom feature of breakout rooms to do different brain teasers or different activities in small groups. I think this could be a great feature to use for trivia. Maybe the question is asked and then you break up into your groups and chat about what you think the answer is and then come back to a large group. I just think it's a really cool feature that Zoom offers, and it's a great way to do activities in smaller groups.
Absolutely. Chantel, our senior manager of operations, actually did this with the operations team. You do have to have a paid account for this. So, which for most of these, you probably should have at least one paid account. But guys, it's really affordable. Even if you just get one general paid account for your entire team to use, it's worth it, because you can have features like the Zoom breakouts that you can use. So Chantel said that was really fun. She gave the team a brain teaser, and then they all broke out into the like Zoom room, and then they all came back together and saw who got it right, which was really cool. Kind of like a virtual little escape room.
yeah, exactly.
Super fun. All right, number 5, Sydney.
So the 5th one is bingo. Everybody loves a good game of bingo. And if you get on Google, there are so many options for virtual bingo. It generates, a randomized card for you. Your whole team can play. And there are a number of different, online platforms that are offering bingo, and most of them are free.
That's great. And if you want to take it to the next level, we did this years ago at Vanderbloemen, you could create like a custom team bingo. Where different squares have things related to your church or your team. But yeah, tons of them online where everybody can jump in and play for free and make it really easy for your staff. So that's a great one. Okay, that was number 5, right? 5? Is that 5? Okay, number 6. What's number 6, Sydney?
6 is charades. Classic game, but it would be super easy to do over a video call. Do you have any specific ideas on how you would do that well with the team? I think it would be really fun. We might have to test this out with our team.
We definitely need to test this out with our team. I think it would be hilarious. I think it would be great to split, rather than having everybody try to scream the answer at one time. I think it would be great to split your Zoom team. Like maybe you count off people like 1s and 2s. And that way you kind of reduce the amount of everybody yelling.
Half the team's muted or
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a great idea. Like mute half the team, and then the other half of the team is able to yell out their guesses. So I think that's kind of how you could try to control some of the chaos, but I think charades would be so fun. All right, number 7.
So number 7 is virtual trivia. Whether I thought it would be really cool to do trivia with our team with like Vanderbloemen facts, or which value does this represent? That way you're incorporating things that really represent the heart and soul of the company, but in a really fun way. And trivia would be a great game to break off into those breakout rooms if you do have that feature on Zoom.
Absolutely. That's a great one. All right. And number 8, we got 2 more. What's number 8?
8 is code names. I was doing some Googling, looking up lots of different virtual games, and there's actually now, if you just Google code names online, there are a number of platforms you can create a room for your team, and it'll generate a board for you. You know, maybe someone shares the screen and shows the board and you all play, pick up teams or whatever. But it seems like there's a ton of different ways to do that now virtually.
Yes, and we love, this is at the Tate household. This is one of our favorite games.
Yeah.
It's really great for teams actually, because the whole point is you have different cards that are random words, and one person is trying to say another word that connects these words. And so it's very stimulating with the mind, and you can also get to know each other and how you think, because some people are more abstract and some people are more literal. And so it's a really great team building and bonding game, as well as, you know, intellectually challenging. So that's a really fun one. All right. And then number 9, Sydney, is Pictionary. So how can a staff play Pictionary together?
Pictionary, gosh, I haven't played Pictionary in a long time, but there are online platforms to do Pictionary. You really could draw it out and show your picture to the team.
Yeah.
There are a number of different ways to do it, but I feel like that could be a really fun one.
Yeah, and that one actually came from one of our webinars that we did last week. Somebody wrote in and said that their team had played Pictionary and that it was so fun, and then they asked us for more ideas, and here we are on this video giving them 8 additional ideas. So Sydney, thank you so much for spending some time and energy around this. We're so grateful for you and our culture team at Vanderbloemen. And we would love to hear from you guys. If you're watching this and your staff has tried a virtual activity that you feel like has really helped lift morale or increase team building during this time, we'd love to hear from you. You can email me at holly@vanderbloemen.com. All right, Sydney, we'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye, Holly. Thanks.